Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And I shorted the music if you guys are watching on YouTube because I just wanted to start.
Wow. I felt like I walked out of the house without my pants on right there for a second.
Yeah, no, it was weird, but I want to start quick. I just wanted to get in. See you guys. Just get in.
Just get in.
Yeah, just get in. Blame Chase for being 1 minute late. Yeah. I didn't send Bill the link.
Well, hey, you know, I almost missed it though. I was thinking we were going to go at 1:30, so I was up here all ready to go, and then I saw it was at 2, and I'm like, okay, cool. I started getting the Programmatron, the weekly videos. I'm getting those set up, so I have a handful of those. I'm going to be posting up there. And so I was getting all into it, and all of a sudden I look up the clock, and it was like 1:58. I'm like, shit, damn it.
So that happened to me too. Hello, everyone, by the way. Today, my son goes to this like Spanish immersion prep school. Daycare. It's a school. Like they have class and teachers, and it's not like babysitters. And we have him in this like once a week English class to prep for kindergarten, because my son is going to kindergarten this next school year.
It's old.
Yeah, it's weird, dude. It's really weird. And so from 9 to noon, he's in this English class. So like every Tuesday, he's like, Dad, do I get to go to English school today? I'm like, yes, you do. Otherwise, they're just speaking Spanish all day. And he's really good with numbers, and he can say his whole alphabet. But if I'm like, hey, say the alphabet in English, he'll get to like E, panic, and then switch to Spanish. So we were like, okay, maybe, we should get you ready to speak English in school, seeing as how you don't speak English when you go to school ever, because both my kids speak Spanish.
Is he going to be in the same place for kindergarten?
No, he's not. It was a tough call. He's so at this. It's called Spanish World School, and it's incredible. By the way, it's awesome. The teachers are amazing, and they're from like every different like Latin American country. Like this experience that they get is so cool, and they're so loving. And whoever does my daughter's hair after I drop her off, obviously I'm not doing a good job, but she comes home with these amazing like setups. Like there was one, she came home with like 3 different pigtails that went into the next pigtail. Like not like what is this called? A French braid?
Yeah.
Those can't see me on YouTube. I'm interlocking my fingers over the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm a girl dad, dude. I get it.
Yeah,
I know you got
but
going.
it's
I
like,
know you got going
like
on.
a pigtail, but there's 3 of them that go down, and then she like connects. It's amazing. It's like art. And clearly my art sucks, because every time I pick her up, she's not in the same hairdo of which I did and dropped her off with.
Is that like a foreshadowing that you're going to dress her up and she's going to come back from like school, high school, and like some? Why is that skirt so short? Yeah. I was like, where did you get those shoes?
Jeans on?
You left in sweats. You're back in a mini skirt. What happened?
Yeah, where's that finger length rule? To wrap up, but I got stuck working, and I was just like feverishly working at home, and my wife walks in. She's like, Did you pick up Dylan? I was like, oh shit. And it's like 12:02. Like there's nothing I can do. I'm supposed to pick him up at noon. I'm in my house and it's 12:02. So, fortunately, it's only like 5 to 7 minutes away. I got there in 3.
There you go.
And just come running around the corner. I was like, I'm sorry. But it's funny you went through that, because I went through the same thing.
I do that. It happens.
Yeah.
It's called the flow state. You're in the flow state.
Oh, dude, I was cruising. I was like, and I was legit thinking to myself, like, oh, I'm crushing it. And then, my like wife walked into my office.
It just said,
like, don't come in.
You're not crushing it.
Yeah, I'm killing right now. She's like, did you already drop him off and come back? I'm like, oh no. So I feel you on the time warp that is. But all right, today's show will be reprogramming the 2023 Open and 2023 individual quarterfinals. So basically the first half of the season, because through the last several weeks, we've had opinions and concerns and questions about certain things. And what we always like to do is add some context, some constructive feedback, as well as put our own thoughts out there, because we would do predicting based off floor plans. But when we go to the reprogramming side, we have bumpers. And what we landed on was we're not going to change the equipment or the floor layouts. We're going to try to do as minimal amount of changes as possible, but with some tweaks that maybe you or I felt, and I don't know what you did and you don't know what I did, of how to maybe modify the test to be, I don't want to say better, but
no, say better.
Better.
Better. Like, I mean, that's the whole deal. And I think what's important, okay, there's a lot of people that want to just, want to talk shit on the program. Oh, this was a dumb workout, or that was a boring event, or this shouldn't have been done this way, or they should have had this, or they should have had that. It's very easy to say those things, but you have to, if you're going to say it needs to be this way, then you should be able to have like, okay, here is the fix for that.
Mm-hmm.
What we really wanted to do was take what CrossFit had laid out. And this is what I think, at least from my point of view, and I think I can, I'm in a safer place to say this than you are, I guess, is that, I mean, we both wave the flag for CrossFit. We always have, we always will. But especially this year, it seems as though there's been some things that have been big issues that didn't need to be. And with, I mean, and dude, it was really crazy because when I was going through this, you really don't have to change a whole lot to make the season look a whole lot better. And I think that's one of the things that we want to kind of bring, at least our opinion to the table is, look, you just have to think about it. Like, just think about what you're trying to do here. And a lot of it will come back to, okay, what's the point of the Open? What's the point of the qualifiers? And we've talked about that a bunch of times. But I think like with the fixes that at least that I was making, or the adjustments, I'll say adjustments that I was making, that's what I really tried to do was, okay, we already did our predictions. We already analyzed the program. So we already know a lot of what it is. So what does it take then to make what they had, make it work? And make it work to where you would basically be like, okay, yeah, thumbs up. Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that, what was weird was with all of the talking that we made and all the chatter that's been going around, dude, it really does not take a lot of fixes. No. That's what's weird. That's what blew me away when I was sitting at home kind of playing with this.
Yeah, and when I was tinkering too, I was like, oh man, actually, I'm not really going to change that thing. And
I did a lot of that.
And this is just a minor tweak, even though, say on our, I think our toughest episode we did was the individual quarterfinals. Like that was a tough episode to get through just because it was new and there was just a lot of things going on and we had our own personal feelings with what was going on as well as our professional opinions about what was going on. And that was a tough one to navigate through. But when you pull back a little bit, as much of, or as long as we talked about that, when I went in, I was like, oh, I talked 45 minutes about this one little detail that I just tweaked and feel like it made all the difference in the world. So,
yeah. Well, and I think that's what's really interesting is, and we've talked about this before, that like one movement will skew the entire event, and that's all we talk about is that one thing. Mm-hmm. And if you can take that out or modify that or change that or put it back to something that doesn't need to be like this new movement or whatever, then all of a sudden that workout goes from being a shit talked about event to like, oh yeah, that's right in the mix. Cool. Let's go. Line them up. It's awesome. It's going to do what it needs to do. And that's what was really weird. I mean, there didn't need to be a lot of changes. There just needed to be a couple. And like, dude, I'm telling you, like, it changes the entire landscape of what it's supposed to look like, because it's the feel, because you don't get hung up on one dumb little thing. It's like, it's like this great piece of pizza with like, if you don't like peppers and you have like that one pepper that's on your pizza and it like all of a sudden that bite just sucks and it ruins that whole piece of pizza. And you're like, God, shit. Or that one, if you're like one of those like non-pineapple people, is you have the one piece of pineapple that for whatever reason is on your pepperoni and cheese pizza and it just jacks it up. It just changes that
pepperoni and cheese pizza.
Anyway,
do you do Hawaiian pizza, or what are your thoughts on
pizza? What's really weird is I know that's you're either on this side of the line or that side of the line, and I'm kind of in the middle. I really don't care. Like, I'll eat pizza. I'm Italian. I just eat pizza.
That's fair, but being Italian, don't you feel like that's kind of blasphemy to put pineapple and ham on a pizza?
I like eating. I don't eat pizza all that much. So it's like, oh, if there's pineapple, okay, cool. If my go-to would be classic pepperoni and cheese. Can't go wrong with that. It's hard to go wrong.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call a pepperoni pizza a pepperoni and
cheese. I want a pepperoni cheese and sauce pizza, please.
I would like a pizza with marinara sauce, mozzarella, and pepperoni, please. They're like, do you mean a pepperoni pizza? You're like, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever. I guess it's because my daughter only likes cheese pizza, so I have to I just want a cheese pizza. You mean like a plain, boring
cheese
pizza? Yeah. I have a piece of bread in the house if you want that.
Your bill is like, I'll have a pizza with cheese, please. Like, what? Okay. Oh, well, happy afternoon, everyone. Happy Tuesday. The chat is lively. This is fantastic.
I know. Jeez, oh man. Wow.
Anything, Stefan's back. I guess he's been off the reserve. Stefan, did you get kicked off YouTube like Savan did? When is his suspension up? Like the 15th or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. I got to get on the Twitch and watch him on Twitch.
I went on Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what that was until I saw it. Oh, gosh. See, when maybe Savan doesn't need to come back. Like Savan gets all the tips and the cash deposits on his show. And
yeah, he does. Jeez,
so if he's not on here, maybe we'll start.
Maybe if you got money burning a hole in your pocket.
Oh well, hey, I'm excited to reprogram. Obviously, predicting the programming is always fun and fresh. Analyzing is something that we this podcast was founded on as we started this. And then the reprogramming is to really help expand people's ideas and thoughts of maybe some of the critiques and criticisms we may have. But as you said, giving actual answers versus that was dumb, or I personally did not enjoy that, or that workout offended me. That kind of response that you see out there is like, hey, we were almost there. And what I liked that you said earlier, and I'd love you to expand on that before we get into our next thing, was understanding what people are going to do with it. Right? You say that quite a bit. What do you mean by that?
Are you talking about as far as the athlete goes, or the athlete? Okay.
Say like you get a test, and for example, walking shuttle runs.
Right. Okay.
Your feedback to that test entirely was you need to understand what people are going to do with it, and your presupposition of what you thought your test was going to be, and not forward thinking of what people are going to do with it. What do you mean by that?
What I mean is a good athlete is always going to try to make the most efficient move, the most efficient movement. And that's within the rules. That doesn't mean that you're cheating range of motion, or that you're cheating cutting off, or not squatting down all the way, or whatever the rules are. Play within the rules, but make it as efficient as possible. A classic story I have on that is when we did, what was that year? It was the first time they did the dumbbell snatch and the burpee box jump over.
Yeah.
And I was doing the open announcement with Brandon. And it was Pat and Brent were doing it. We were up in Canada. Oh, you guys are awesome.
Thank you, Stefan. $10, brother.
Dude.
We missed you.
When I found out what the event was, my first question was, what's the width of your feet? What's the width of your feet have to be when you're going to pull the dumbbell off the ground? And the response to that was, why does that matter? And I go, well, because if I'm 6 foot and I'm standing regular, but if I spread my feet out a little bit wider, then all of a sudden I'm 5'6". If I even go wider than that, then I'm 5 foot. So my range of motion is different. So exactly. So they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, it totally matters. So as an athlete, so that's like the whole loophole thing that I'm always, that we always play with. I will always try to find what is the most efficient move, not the shortest move, but the most efficient move that I can do within the rules. If they don't say that I don't need a width on my feet, then I'm going to go as wide as I can comfortably to where I don't have to travel as far, because range of motion is going to count. So same thing on this. If you aren't planning, when you design an event, you have a certain feel of what you want that to look like. Sure, you can say, here's what the workout is, and you have your your little testers, you wind them up and they kind of go, but they're just trying to get a time frame for you. They aren't racing it like it actually matters, where every second is going to be important, every rep is going to be important, and you have to think about what are those people going to do. Where can you short this movement? Why would you short this? Where's the emphasis of this event going to be, either here or here? Where am I trying to push them? Where do I think that the active recovery might be? I mean, I think a lot of times when people put double unders in an event, for most good CrossFitters, that will be the active recovery. And so I think that the designer is doing that. They're not thinking, okay, this is going to be designed so the person that has to jump really high because they're not good at double unders are really going to get smashed here. They aren't thinking that. They're thinking this is going to be where they can have an active recovery because they're going to have to crush on this next part. So if you aren't taking that 30,000 foot view and thinking of all the possibilities, then somewhere you're going to get screwed. And I think that was one of the things that we didn't see here a lot. I mean, all the movements are fair movements.
Yeah.
But you got to know why you're putting it in there. What are you trying to test? What are people going to do with it? Have they seen it before? Is it explained well enough so that there is no question? You can't just say, everybody knows what a thruster looks like. We already know that doesn't work.
Yes.
Everybody knows what, a rep counts in a shuttle run. All of those things. I mean, you have to explain and design it to the lowest common denominator so that you can get what you want done, rather than trying to be cute and fancy and kind of get stuck in the mud. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And I just wanted people to understand what you mean by that. When you say it's like figuring out what athletes are going to do. So, okay, before we get to our reprogramming, a couple things on the docket. One, this is going on, and just shout out to the Nopen, the No Rep Open. I guess Andrew Hiller has created his own online competition, and I think the first test was the 7 minutes of burpees,
of which he was wearing the OG shirt.
Yeah, of which he's wearing the OG shirt. So figured we give he shows us a little love, we'll show a little love back. You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. But the Nopen, we just put it in the chat here. It's currently going on. Is it like 2 week phases or 3 weeks? I can't remember exactly. I might as well just read this.
Yeah.
Event details. First, let's see. He just made up this online competition and just went for it. It came up fast. I didn't think it was coming up this. Oh, here it is. April 10th through April 24th. So a 2 week online competition. He has 2 tests out so far, I believe. First thing called Dave. AMRAP in 7 minutes, burpees to a 6-inch target.
So we just did that in the open then, right?
Yeah. And
I was just burpee pull up, so that's sorry.
The second one was called The Rock, and it's 27 ground overhead. It's all at 95 and 65, 72 hops over the bar, 21 ground overhead, 72 hops, 15 ground overhead, 72 hops, 9 ground overhead, cap in 10 minutes. And if anybody's wondering what the 72 is that 27, 21, 15, 9 is actually 72. So that's where his number comes from.
There you go.
And that's a little burner. So, little shout out if you guys are, lost in your off-season sea of what do I do next. Poke your head over there and test that out. But the other one,
Dave, we got a couple of dollars in there too. Dave, thank you, dude. And the burpee guy, thank you, dude.
Oh, Dave Attaway.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Is that your real last name? Because that's an awesome last name.
Attaway.
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 Like Attaway, right? Thataway. Attaway. That's what I always got a Thataway because I couldn't really do, but I tried hard. I was like that typical try hard white guy. They're like Thataway. Good hustle. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's a great last name. Great last name. A couple things on the docket. We released our April trophy case challenge. which was the Bear Complex. If you guys didn't see that, we posted it on our Instagram. You guys can see that at Get With The Programming on Instagram. No underscore anymore. We got the legit one finally.
Sweet.
And then on top of that, we'll be posting all of our previous ones on the OG Culture website. So as soon as we get those loaded up, I know we've had some questions on what the other ones were in the past. Go check that out. If you aren't subscribed to their Instagram channel, go to the.og.culture is their Instagram channel. So make sure you guys like there. Obviously, we'll post new gear that's coming out with the OG Culture stuff. Bill's wearing one of our new shirts right there. It's a little outline design, which I think is freaking sweet. That little neon.
Sexy neon lights right there.
Sexy neon lights. And for those of you guys that are listening, two things. If you did the January challenge, we've kind of backlogged what's going on, but if you did and successfully completed the Snatch one, hit us up either on Instagram or via email with your video and address again, because we just need to send you your shirt. And we got we got into a position where I had it all, and then a lot of things happened. Well, really, the season started, and then I disappeared. But if you guys completed it, please hit us up on Instagram, or you can email us directly. Our email is officialgwtp@gmail.com.
That's the one.
officialgwtp@gmail.com. That's our email for the show. So if you guys completed the 200 kettlebell snatches and we have not given you any gear yet, please email us and we will get that out to you as soon as you can. Second to that, for those of you guys that follow us on Patreon, we are also getting back to getting you guys more stuff. Obviously, you guys get a 20% discount to everything that we make through the OG Culture. That is a forever thing for you guys that follow us on Patreon. You should have gotten an email to a link of our Get With The Programming specific Programmatron t-shirt, which gives you a code to buy the shirt, pay for shipping, and then you get the shirt for free. The other is we're bringing back our workout of the week. We had that when we first started our Patreon account, where we give you guys one workout every week. Bill and I alternate. We're bringing it back tomorrow. We release them on Wednesdays. And what it is you just get a workout, a video description, some concepts, stimulus, scales, modifications, things like that. And we just post it on our Patreon page. We give you guys a link to a special YouTube channel that nobody can see but our Programmatrons themselves. And you get a weekly workout from us as well. So we're bringing that back starting tomorrow. So, sweet.
Wait, do you have the first one? You got mine. I can send you mine. I have all mine ready to go.
Send me yours, because I just bought a new whiteboard that I need to build.
Okay.
Because I was like, I'm gonna make it. Then I don't have a whiteboard anymore.
All I have to say is, you guys are gonna like this version.
You're gonna like it. Space Wolves.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
So, but yes, if you guys have done our trophy case challenge for January, which was the 200 kettlebell snatches unbroken, please hit us up so we can get the gear to you. Yes.
Also,
finger up.
Because I was gonna wait till like when you finish that thought. Yeah, we got to get that gear to you guys. We are gonna get on the OG website and actually put an area on there so you can see, just like Chase was saying, the trophy case stuff. But then also to try to send all your stuff to that. We're just trying to make it so it's easy to get a hold of everyone's names and everything. The other thing we need to do is the two guys that were first and second on the OG leaderboard out of the Open. We can't find you guys on Instagram. We can't find you guys on Facebook. So if you guys hear us, see us, or on this, or if you guys know who they are, whatever, email us so we can try. We're trying to find you guys so we can get you guys your shirts as well.
Is it the men or the women?
It's the men, the first and second.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to do this thing.
I know Ken was trying to find those guys, and he said he couldn't find an account for either of them.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know if you can do that through CrossFit. You might be able to do that.
I'm trying to pull up the hashtag OG. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Hold on. Spelling OG in the Open. What do we got? So all our women are taken care of?
Women are taken care of. Third place for the men is taken care of. We need the 1 and 2.
Okay. Benjamin Bianco. You are first, and Kyle Schmidt.
Nice job.
You are second with Logan Southard, so he's taken care of. All right, so Benjamin and Kyle, if you're listening or watching, you need to hit us up because we can't find you anywhere.
Yeah.
Their wives pulled their social media accounts. They have been naughty. Maybe. Corey, we need some OG stickers, gentlemen. You are correct. That is something we do need to do. What are you reaching for? Well, those are our patches.
We have these patches.
We have the patches. No, we need to make stickers.
We do.
Yeah,
These
like
patches
the
are
laptop
sick.
sticker, the water bottle sticker, the car decal. Throw that shit on there.
True.
Okay, so that'll do for all our checklists. And all right, so let's get into reprogramming. We'll start with the open, and then we'll, that's been kicked around too. OG coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee. Jeffrey, got a dip. See y'all later. Thanks for joining us.
Later, dude.
Later, Jeff. All right, so we're going to go through reprogramming. We're going to start with the open. And do you want to do your 3 in the open, and then I'll do my 3 in the open, and then we'll do quarterfinals, or do you want to do 1 for 1?
Let's go back and forth.
Back and forth? Okay.
Yeah.
Starting with the open, 23.1 when it was originally programmed. What was the AMRAP in 14 minutes? I might as well just pull the workouts up so you guys can see them. Sorry, the tests, even though they're right workouts.
It's like we just we can't even come up with the right name for it. That's a test. It's not a test. We're not testing. It's a competition. It's an event.
I mean, it is a workout.
No, workouts are what you do in training.
Oh, test, event, same thing.
Test is what you're training. Workout is like, yeah, you're training, same thing.
Yeah, test.
But this is an event.
Okay, all right. Event.
It's a competition.
23.1. Yeah, event, test. I mean, semantics, but I get it.
Nope. Tomatoes. No.
All right, it was a 14-minute AMRAP, repeat of 14.4. Bill, if you were to do 23.1, what would you do?
I just left it.
Me too.
And the reason I did, I was not, and I said it, that I wasn't all fired up about a repeat.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, this was a really good repeat to have. It allows everyone to play. I like the technicality of the movement. I like that for many, you're going to be in that group that gets their first muscle up, or you're in the group that gets to run, to see what kind of muscle ups you're going to get, and the ones that can be how far you're going to get into the calorie row. So I like what it was. I think it allowed everyone to play, and it's perfect for the open. So I as much as I'm not a fan of the repeat, I was good with this.
Same. I was in the camp of, hey, I didn't really want to have a repeat just because I like seeing new programming come out. However, this is one of my favorite personal open workouts or open events ever programmed. And for a demographic of the open, it's one of those, like, it just gets harder as the mountain gets higher. And that's what you want. You want everybody to have an opportunity to get in there and mix it up. And then, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with something at the end that is a big gatekeeper for a lot of people.
Right.
And almost 10 years later, like, we shouldn't be complaining about muscle ups.
Right. Well, and I mean, and if, with this being in there, I mean, it's, again, we're not trying to completely change everything where it's like, is this appropriate? Yeah, it's appropriate for the why of the open. Absolutely.
All right. Now we get to the fun stuff.
Walking shuttle runs.
23. Walking and burpee pull-ups. 23.A, 23.B. Originally was designed as an AMRAP in 15 minutes, 5 burpee pull-ups, 10 shuttle runs, add 5 burpee pull-ups each round until the 15 minutes is up. The 10 shuttle runs stay the same. At the 15-minute mark, you have 5 minutes to establish a 1-rep max thruster from the floor. Bill.
What I did was a run-up of 5 and 5. 5 burpees, 5 shuttle runs, 10 burpees, 10 shuttle runs, 15 burpees, 15 shuttle runs, 20, 20, 25, 25, and continue your way up as high as you can get. Okay. Because for that reason, now the shuttle runs increase, and it matters now.
Yeah.
And as we saw in the age group qualifiers, when you have a lot of shuttle runs to do, There's a chunk of time that's involved with that. So you can't go slow, can't walk those.
Right.
And that's what you want. That's what when they were this is what we're talking about, the purpose of what's the why behind it. You didn't want people to have to walk and get a better score.
Right.
You have to go all the way on this one. So
you increase by 5s.
I just did everything by 5. I just tried to keep it similar, again, similar to what they had, starting with 5 and increasing by 5 on the burpees or the burpee pull-ups. And then just increasing, starting and matching the number of burpee pull-ups with the lap of shuttle run.
Okay. Did you have a B?
I did have a B. I didn't like the fact of having a 1 rep max in the open. I think that we've talked about that a bazillion times.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I went back to kind of like what my original idea was. And that was a repeat too. It was the max clusters 165
Oh,
and
yeah.
115. So I had that in the 5 minutes. I kept the time frame what it was, and I said max clusters at 165 and 115 in 5 minutes.
Like that. And the same counting, right? Because in 2011,
yes,
you got 1 for the clean and 1 for the jerk.
Right. Yeah.
Now, did you have them separately or change the scoring or?
No, I had that. It was a 2A. That was 1 score, and then 2B was another score.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question from Rich Matthews. Would you change whether or not it's event 1 from the open? He's talking specifically to 23.1.
Would I change how it was
order
written?
of events?
Maybe
we'll get there.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends what it looks like after we kind of retool.
All right, we'll revisit that after. So for 23.2A for myself, I did the same thing you did, but I only increased. I went 1 shuttle run, 2 burpee pull-ups. 2 shuttle runs, 4, 3, 6, 4. So 1 shuttle run would increase every round. 2 burpee pull-ups would increase every round for the same reasons you did, just a smaller sample size. So reason I had that was starting very small. Most people will have to kind of not push the pace early, but you can't really like dick around. Right. And those smaller sets, some may feel more accomplished getting to another round, rotating through. And it's short and fast, right? But it's hard quick. But for the same reasons you did. So about the same thing. But the reason is, both of you and I are changing the format to make the shuttle runs actually matter. And you actually have to run these things to get a decent score for everybody is what our thought was there.
Yeah, and I actually, one of the reasons that I had, and I was looking, and I know that we're doing just the individuals, but I was kind of looking at it like even the age group qualifiers just to kind of play with it. Mm-hmm. And I did this one on purpose because I wanted, if we're going to have a lot of shuttle runs, I want it right here, and then I want them done. So in my mind, when I'm looking at like the season, the block, I'm looking at like, okay, well, here's our shuttle runs. This is it right here. Mm. And that would be kind of taking care of it. So
I'll take either one.
Yeah.
Right? Either one to make the shuttle runs matter. Now, for my 23B, let me actually just pull this up so you guys can see it. Just when I explain it. So I also I kept the thruster. The thing I changed was the scoring. That was my big change. So if you guys can see that, I'll bring this in there. So what I changed here was, let me just tighten up this window. 5-minute running clock to establish a max thruster in kilograms. And the way I scored the kilograms was you take your total weight on the bar. So if you're lifting in kilograms, it is what it is, right? That's the total weight on the bar. If you're lifting in pounds, you take the total weight that you have on there. Barbell is usually, all barbells are actually in kilos. Mm-hmm. Either 44 pounds or 33 pounds. Rarely ever will you actually find a barbell that's in pounds. Rarely. I haven't seen many. And so you take the total weight on the bar in pounds and you just multiply by 2.2 and then you round up to the nearest kilogram. That's it. Not take the weight on the bar and then increase the number, and take the plates and then increase the number. That little hack that some people were doing in the open, which by your things earlier is you got to understand what people are going to try to do with the standards of which they're given. Right? Now, what I do there is you're going to get one score for the both of them. And so I'm going to take your total reps from 23A and add it to your total kilos lifted in 23B. And that total number is going to be your one score for 23.2. And that way, if you want to have a really good score, you have to do a shitload of reps in A, and you got to do a shitload of weight in B. If you have a shitload of reps and no weight, you're going to have a worthless score. If you have a shitload of weight and no reps, you're going to have a worthless score.
Yeah.
You have to have both. So in the vein of really what, when Boz was on with Pat Sherwood, of like, this is what CrossFit's all about. I'm like, yep, until you score it like that.
And then it all of a sudden isn't.
And then all of a sudden we're celebrating specialists again.
Right.
And what is CrossFit lecture where you're like, there's this marathon specialist and then there's this super strong weightlifter guy. And these are remarkable feats, but this isn't CrossFit. It's this person in the middle who can do both, who can run a sub 5-minute mile and do a 500-pound back squat in the same day. It's in our freaking level 1. It's the first lecture of the level 1.
Yep.
And yet in the open, you decided to celebrate these people.
Yep.
Not this person, because of your scoring system. So that's what I changed. So again, very minimal change, kept the thruster, although I did say no step or feet moving through the press out.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Right? Yeah. So it's reps plus kilos, add them together, one score, the best will rise.
Boom.
That was my
There you go.
A and B. But I think our big thing there was making sure people understand that you have to make the shuttle runs matter, and you have to think about how to make them matter when you program the shuttle runs.
Yep.
Okay, 23-3, which was the wall walk, snatch, double under, ascending time, buy-in. I'm explaining this so poorly as if it was like explaining it poorly. I wasn't being like a dick about it. All right, 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, 15 snatches at weight 1, 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, 12 snatches at weight 2. If you're finished with that in 6 minutes, you get an additional 3. And then went into 20 strict handstand push-ups, 50 double unders, 9 snatches at weight 3. If you finish that, 20 handstand push-ups strict, 50 double unders, 6 snatches. Bill.
I said leave it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the reason is because I like the fact, okay, we got double unders in there. I like the snatches and and I think one of the reasons why I say leave it is because when I watched people doing it, from gen population, gym goers, to better athletes, to the elite level athletes, it really did allow everyone to slot themselves into the place that they belong. It allowed everyone to do an Olympic lift with the snatch, which I thought was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. The wall walks, I mean, again, I didn't want to have wall walks again. It was at the 3rd time in a row that we've had them. It's like, okay, I got it. But like, as far as what we're trying to do with this, and the same layout, I like for what it is. I like what it is.
Okay.
And so that's what I mean. Like, when coming back around to it, it was like, well, I mean, for what, especially with the fixes that I made on mine, like with the last couple ones, I'm like, okay, I like it. Because I think that it's a good event. We get the strong people can still get through. Still have to have gymnastic prowess. You still have to be able to have shoulder capacity and all that. So everyone gets to play, and the right people get to qualify through.
All right. Question from Sam Smith. For a lot of the open / quarterfinal events, the shuttle runs are taking up less than 50% or around 50% of the allotted time. Would it be better if they were part of a bigger chipper or multi-round triplet, for example?
I am not a fan of the shuttle run. I think that it's an overused tool. It's fine, But again, like, are you using it because you want to actually have a long run in there? And is it the long run that you really want to have, or can you get the same stimulus that you're trying to test for by having them do something else, either a rower or double unders or burpees or something like that? I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think it's a matter of shuttle runs or no shuttle runs. I think it's a matter of, like, what are you trying to test? I like the fact that we can test running on an online platform, so we know we can do it. But I don't think that has to be that, like, every single platform and every single qualifier they have shuttle runs in. I don't think we need to have that.
Another question here. Did the wall walks matter in this workout?
I would say it depends on what level you are of athlete. If you're the general population, again, we're talking the open, the widest net possible. For a lot, yeah, the second set of wall walks, they did count, because it was kind of shocking, I think, after they came off the snatches right into the wall walks.
Yeah.
Did it matter for the high-end athletes? No. But the first 2 rounds don't matter for the high-end athletes.
Okay.
Right.
What I did is I did tweak this a little bit. And let's see, I'll pull this up just because to explain it was it's not that complicated, but it's easier to read it than see it. All right, so this is what I did. I took away the time thing because that was a little bit of a complaint, and I like the time thing, like hey, get to this and you can move on. The way the weights and reps were set up, I can see people's frustration of not being great at these and just like doing nothing for 6 minutes, even though I told you it's like, hey, it is what it is. So I was looking at that a little bit. And so what I wrote was 12-minute, it's for time with a 12-minute time cap. So the whole thing's 12 minutes if you make it all the way. So like, here's 12 minutes. Go play. And what I did was I went 6 wall walks, 105 double unders, which I'll get there in a second, 15 snatches. So basically it's a triplet: gymnastics, monostructural, weightlifting. Wall walk, double under, snatch, weight 1, 15 reps. And then the next round is 9 wall walks. So I went up 3, 105 double unders, and then down 3 to 12 snatches at weight 2. So the wall walk and snatches, right? The snatches are going to stay the same. I didn't change those at all. The wall walks, I added a little bit in the beginning, 6 and then 9. And then the third triplet is 12 strict handstand push-ups, 105 double unders, 9 snatches at weight 3, and then 15 strict handstand push-ups, 105 double unders, and 6 snatches at weight 4. Now the wall walk, the handstand stuff is going 6, 9, 12, 15, where the snatches are going 15, 12, 9, 6. The weight is increasing as the weight decreases. The skill or volume is increasing for the pressing as the reps increase. Right. So the 105 is, if you times it by 4, is 420. The total number of wall walks or pressing handstand push-ups is 42. The total number of snatches is 42. So I took 42, 420, divided that by 4, and that's where I got the 105. So that's just like numbers in my head, because I thought 50 double unders is like, what are we doing? Come on. It's like you have these 20 strict handstand push-ups, 25 to 30 seconds of double unders, and then like 6 snatches at 225. I'm like, what the fuck? The double unders are pointless in there. Unless you're bad at them, but whatever, right? We've had, but I try to make everything matter a little bit with some ascending, descending stuff going on here.
No, that's a fun setup. And I know that we had a lot of talk about this particular event when it came out.
Yeah.
Being that our rules were okay, minimal.
Yeah.
Tweaking. That's why I was like, well, I mean.
Like I kept the wall walks, I kept the handstand push-ups.
No, I mean, I think your tweak is good. I like that.
Push-ups,
I like that. I do like the fact of that you made it 12, so everyone gets to play for 12 minutes. That's cool.
Yeah.
Although I think the people that got timed out, I don't really know if they would have gotten a whole lot more anyway. You know what I mean? Like of the reps that they got.
Yeah, this is a rare time where I was like, "I'll listen to your feelings a little bit. Get more time to not be able to do this. Get more time to stare at the second barbell."
Yeah. But I like, I mean, I like your adjustments. I do. I really just tried to go as minimal as I could, because I felt, and this was me. I like what you did on yours. I like the numbers even that you have on there too. But I was looking at this and I'm like, oh, what the hell am I going to switch? Because I felt like if I started tinkering, I was really going to throw a wrench into it, and it would be something totally different. I'm like, I just better stay with what it is.
And I felt the same way. And I was like, I feel like this is a fair.
No, totally.
Less
I like that.
I like that. What I would normally do. But all right, so that's our open. Now the exciting stuff. We'll switch to quarterfinals. And so as I look at these tests here, I'll pull up the quarterfinals tests. They had 5 for the individuals, which is normal. Mm-hmm. The first one being the front squats, handstand walk 1. So let's take this, open this up. All right, test 1 quarterfinals. 9, 9, 15, 15, 21, 21. Front squats, weight 1. 9 front squats, 225, 155. 9 handstand walk lengths of 25 feet, unbroken. 15 front squats at weight 2, which is 185 and 125. 15 muscle ups. 21 front squats at 135 and 95, 21 wall facing handstand push-ups. So Bill, what is your quarterfinals test 1?
Well, first I made the women's second weight 135.
Okay.
Because that's what it needs to be. I was talking to one of the girls in one of my classes, and she was like, "So we always do 185, 135, huh?" And I go, "Yeah." She's like, "So we don't do the 125?" And I go, "No, we
Only
don't
in the
do
open.
that. We don't do that."
Oh shit! Dude, that totally reminds me. I did change something in 23.1.
What did you change?
The wall ball target height.
Oh, I don't even. You know what? I don't even count that. That's why I didn't even look at that.
All you punk bitches are going.
Yeah,
And I mean, like men and women alike, but all you guys are going to 10 feet.
10 feet. Yeah, sorry. Feet. I didn't even think about that. You're right. I had that.
I had it written down, and I'm like, why do I feel like I missed something? Yes, I did change something in 14.4 or 23.1.
So I went strict handstand push-ups instead of the wall-facing handstand push-ups.
Okay.
And I kept everything else the same.
All right. My tweak is I did the same weight change as you for the women. Mm-hmm. So weight 2, I bumped up to 135. I was racking my brain to do something with the 15 because I was like, But when I look at it, I was like, okay, ring muscle ups, it's fine. I just wanted to like press. But like the ring muscle up, it's a big press.
Yeah.
It's like 15 ring dips, but you have to pull yourself on top each time.
Yeah.
I was like, fine, okay, it's fine. The one other tweak I did, I actually left the wall facing handstand push-ups in there.
Oh my gosh.
I did.
Do heels have to keep in contact with the wall?
Yeah, well, that's different. I rewrote the standards. I changed the shuttle runs to not unbroken. So the switched to the 5 feet.
Oh, the handstand walk.
Oh, sorry, did I say shuttle runs?
Yeah. I was like, what did you change?
Yeah.
What did you change?
Like, what did I just say? Did I? Yeah. So tweak is bump the weight up for the women's second weight from 125 to 135, and segment the handstand walks to 5 feet instead of 25 feet unbroken.
And why?
Just to get more people into the deeper part of the test, because I feel like a lot of people got hung up on the unbroken piece. And I was like, quarterfinals, no. And the only reason why I left the wall-facing handstand push-ups, because you had to get there. And if you got there, you're probably really good. And so I was like, okay, this is my one, I'm not going to change everything thing. Yeah.
I still, my issue with that, and I hear what you're saying, and I get it. I totally get it. I am not of the camp of you try something new that you haven't had people see. I mean, I know that there were deficit wall facing in the games, but it wasn't. That's not a movement that we've seen a lot to where you're going to throw at a large group of people that have never seen it. And really, honestly, there are issues on simple movements rather than something that we haven't seen yet. I think it just needs to be vetted a little bit more. I think the wall face and handstand would have been great in the semis. Just because they could have seen it. They could have seen it.
I know you're somewhat new to this podcast.
No.
But
no.
You are treading in deep water, sweetheart.
No.
You won't, yeah. Like,
no.
You have a lighter ball for a reason.
Yep.
You don't get a lower target too. Well, you're not new, but you're chiming in a lot more. Well, you should know better.
No, she knows. She knows.
You two,
yeah, but
I out of your shit.
You do. You have a lighter ball.
Exactly. You have a lighter ball.
I should have to do less burpees then, since I'm 6 foot plus.
Yeah.
And
you get a 30-inch tape line for handstand push-ups, and they lower your pull-up bars for burpee pull-ups. So just sit there and take your wall ball shots like you should. Anyways,
I did tinker with the idea of doing, and we talked about it even on the analyzing, of flipping the handstand push-up with the muscle-ups. So it'd be 21 strict handstand push-ups and then 15 muscle-ups, or 21 muscle-ups. And the reason I was thinking that originally was because in the Open, the first event in the Open had 20 ring muscle-ups. So why would we have less muscle-ups when we have our higher level competitors? That's what I was thinking about that one. But I mean, again, I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, minimal changes to make it better. To me, if you made the handstand push-up, then there wouldn't have been an issue. This would have been a fine workout, and it would have been fun. So that's why I went with that. And I like the idea, even though people were getting hung up in the quarters, I think that the increase of the technical work of making it unbroken, I think it spoke to the top 10% that were competing.
Yeah.
So that was just my opinion, though.
No, that's fine. Yeah, and I get it. And I went extra minimal on that one because I changed the weight and sectioned out the handstand walks. So I was like, all right, if you get there, and can't do them, or they're really hard, I was like, I mean, the work it took to get there alone. Like, this one is really tough. Like, I really like it.
Thanks,
50. Like, and that's the thing, is like I didn't want to change it too much because I did really like test 1.
Yeah.
All right, test 2. 12-minute AMRAP, 8 dumbbell snatches on one arm into 8 overhead walking lunges, 8 dumbbell snatches on the other arm, 8 overhead walking lunges, and 40 crossovers. The weight is 70 and 50.
I like the dumbbell work. I thought it was awesome. And then the problem is that it went from, okay, cool, lunges cool, snatches cool, lunges cool, to here we are to this new movement that I don't think is a higher skill movement, but it's just thrown at the wrong time. Now we get to, how do you score it? How do you judge it? What reps count? What reps don't count? And it takes this really cool event and just trashes it.
Yes.
The only change I made was I just said 40 double unders, because what are we trying to test? Like, we're trying to qualify people to get to the next round. This isn't let's see if you have the technical skills to do 40 crossover, because then you might as well just said, today's competition is going to be 500 crossovers. Ready, go.
Right.
And I just think that it ended up, again, I'm not saying that it's a bad movement. I'm saying that it's just not the appropriate place to put it, in my opinion. Yeah. So for this competition, and to have it to where people are like, yeah, this is awesome, cool, double unders and snatching, and like, if it was double unders, there wouldn't have been one complaint. Not one. Everyone would have been like, second one is awesome, or second one was hard.
Wrecked me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, So
Shane, my change is just release the crossover a few days in advance.
Even with that, cool. But like, again, what's the point? Is the crossover that important to qualify these people to the semis? I don't think it is.
Programming at semis, I guess.
Right. Well, yeah. But that's what I think. Because now what happens if it's that big of a deal that you have to announce something early, where it's best to use certain types of ropes and whatever else.
Mm.
I just don't think it's needed.
Caden, give me a jump rope, 800-meter run. I tell you what, if you ever did the old school like endurance seminar, like
Yeah,
that was how
you
they
would do
got
that.
hose running is with a
Yeah.
jump rope. So I mean, it's not off the table. Yeah, for my minimal change, I did the same thing. Like I like the dumbbell work. The only thing I actually did change was, yeah. Okay, I'll say that the thing I didn't like was the number of steps being forced in there versus say 25 feet. And the reason is just like, oh great, I get to lunge further than everybody again. I have to do more work.
You could shorten up your lunge.
Yeah, but exactly. That's where time is like, okay, so now do I need to manipulate the movement to try to do faster work? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't care for that. I know why they did it because of the reps that you get, but like, just do the 5-foot segments, right? And so I brought that back 25 feet as the lunge, not the number of steps.
I like that.
And with that, I thought about doubling the crossover number to double unders, but since I had so many in the open, I decided to reel it back to 40. And what this does is single arm snatches on one arm, lunge 25 feet in the same arm, single arm snatches, lunge 25 feet back. If you just do the 40 double unders, now this is the stimulus that was the attempt of this, which was just a churn and burn with a dumbbell for 12 minutes.
Right.
You have no reason to stop. You have no reason to put the dumbbell down other than your desire to get out of the pain that you're in. Instead, you get on a rope and you get tripped up and frustrated. Like I've been practicing these and they're not that hard to do.
What,
But
crossovers?
you get in this little but when you get in this little like funk of like screwing up, you're just like, this is so stupid. Like why?
Yeah.
Like I'm just getting my rope gets tangled because it twisted a little extra when I went across a little too hard. And I mean, so I'm with you, but I did instead of 8 lunges, I did 25 feet.
Javier has a comment up there. He's like, I love crossovers. The whining about CrossFit is about the crossovers is embarrassing. Look, man, here's what I have to say. Again, we're not talking about the movement of whether it's a good or bad or whatever. You're probably good at crossovers, so great job. I'm good at crossovers too. I wrestled and I jumped rope from like 5 years old on. That doesn't mean that it's a good or a bad movement to have in this, especially when no one has seen it. So because we haven't used it as in our test, to throw it in an online setup is the inappropriate time to use it. That's what we're saying. It's not about the movement is a bad movement or it's too hard or whatever. Yeah, some people they're gonna mess up on it, whatever. But we're trying to think is for the quarterfinals, the purpose of the quarterfinals, and are we using the appropriate tests and movements and setups with the least amount of issues that we have to deal with to get our next group of people to semis? That's what we're trying to say. And I just don't think like what happens now is you have this cool dumbbell event that no one is talking about that. They're only talking about the crossovers.
Yeah.
And that just sucks because they didn't even if you would have made them double unders, everyone would have been like, dude, that one was so hard. You were just, my grip was crazy and blah, blah, blah. That would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was, this will be a topic later down the road, I think, as we look at different movements that get put in there. And it's the difference between training and testing.
Yeah.
And one thing I could see if I took a positive out of all these unique movements coming in there is putting some more unique training elements to improve like your testing abilities. So, and like, I think the games can sometimes skew a lot of people's programming to be like, okay, these are what's there. This is what is in the programming. And in our old school days is like, we would program like random shit, like tire flips and sledgehammers, and we would do wall walks and interesting things in the lab, right? And that's really what the group class was. And I could see where I feel like I'm starting to see is like Boz wants us to go back to like the laboratory experiment of like, hey, try new things out in the gym. And I was like, yes. Like V-ups, for example, coming up, it's like V-ups are a good accessory work, and it's a good thing to put in there. It's like, hey, we're going to do sledgehammers, flip tires, V-ups, and handstand, or wall walks, right? Or Turkish get-ups in a workout. And it's like, yeah, that's part of the laboratory experiment. But when you put them in a competition, that's different.
Yeah.
And I think I'm curious to see that evolve as the programming does too, right? It's like, okay, did this need to come out in quarterfinals? No. Is it a hard movement? No. Is it all anybody wanted to talk about? Yes, including us, but unnecessary.
I mean, again, I think it's like I said, my 7-year-old daughter can do crossovers.
Yeah.
So is this a movement that needs to be in for the the top 10%? No. And again, it's not about whether the unknown and unknowable and all of that. It's not that. It's what do we have an online competition with thousands of people that we're trying to get through. It's not the time to use something that no one has really set up. No one knows how to judge. No one knows how to score yet. They haven't seen it in competition yet to where they're where they can get good feedback, because you're you're doing the events in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at your gym and you're doing your your crossovers, and you're counting them wrong, or you think you're counting them right, but you're in a vacuum. I mean, we've seen it so many times. That's why so many people messed up on the shuttle runs, because they're in their own vacuum doing it rather than being able to see what it really is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So that's all.
And we're thinking of the broad group taking the test too. It's like all these semifinal athletes, this should be not a problem. It shouldn't even be a conversation. Like, yes. But for the big demographic, that's where we're sitting on. All right. That was what? Test 2?
Yeah.
Test 3. Oh boy. 15 clean and jerks for time. 5 rounds, 5 burpee box jump overs at 30 and 24, 1 clean and jerk at 275 and 185. Add 1 rep each round, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a clean and jerk workout. Time cap was 10 minutes. Bill.
I lowered the weight, and I wavered a little bit. Originally, I was going to have 255. What is that? What would that be? 195? No, 175.
Yeah.
I decided to lower it down to 225, 155. And what I did was I changed the rep set to go 3 burpee box jump overs, 1 clean and jerk. 6, 2, 9, 3, 12, 4, 15, 5 time.
Okay.
Same. I kept the time cap on there. Now the burpees count. They didn't matter before. I think that lowering the weight allows people to now you really have to move on both of them. And that's really what I wanted out of that. Instead of it just being like, you can fly over the burpees. I mean, whatever. That's for some people, that's like literally like 18 seconds. And then you take a little breath, and then you try to get a 1 rep max on your clean and jerk.
Right.
So, but that's how I thought that would be a better. It'd be fun to watch. It'd be fun to do. So,
I did the same thing, but I did less weight and more reps.
Okay.
So I did
185, 135.
Yeah, so I did 5 burpee box jump overs, but I lowered the height too. So 24 and 20. 2 clean and jerks at 225 and 155. 10, 4, 15, 6, 20, 8, 25, 10. So it's 75 burpee box jump overs, which we've had in opens before at the same height, 24 and 20 inches. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which is actually heavy grace.
Yeah.
At 225 and 155, but all the reps are increasing. And so if you're really fit and you're really strong, you will move on.
Totally. Versus that's what you're trying to test on.
Clean and jerks for time, which that's all it tested.
Yeah.
Like how strong you were. Like,
I was looking at that originally too, like similar numbers with the burpees. I decided to keep the numbers where I was, but keep the 30 and 24, because I was thinking of the high volume burpees with out of the open. So, burpee pull-ups is what I was thinking on that one. So, I'm like, okay, I'll drop it down a bit, and then I'll keep the height on those, so you get a good jump on that.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, it's lighten the
Same
weight,
idea.
increase the reps. It's like making shuttle runs matter, making the
Yeah.
burpee box jump overs matter at all. Okay, test 4. Now, this was the test that we both had the same prediction on. 20-minute AMRAP, 1,000-meter row, 50 GHD sit-ups, 500-meter row, 25 V-ups. What did you change?
I took out the 500-meter row and the 25 V-ups.
Okay.
And originally I was going to say, all right, well, let's just do a 20-minute AMRAP of that. And then I was
1,000-meter
thinking,
row, 50 GHD sit-ups?
yeah, just, yeah, right. And then that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, I think that honestly, that's going to end up being a little bit excessive. So I said, okay, we'll go 3 rounds of 1,050, the 20-minute cap for some, because I went back and looked at some of the numbers to see what kind of where people were. But I want to put a tie break at the end of round 1.
Ooh. Okay.
So it forces you to get moving.
So 3 rounds of 1,000-meter row, 50 GHD sit-ups?
Yep.
Nice.
That way you don't have to worry about any sort of weird V-ups, how you touch your feet, what counts, are your legs bent, are your feet above your knees? Again, I don't have a problem. We do V-ups all the time. I love V-ups. I love V-ups. I think they're great. But I think that it's a training tool. I think it's an accessory piece of movement. It's a great modification. And if you're going to put it in, it needs to be much more well described and seen before you're going to throw it out to an online vacuum, I think.
Yes. Or just don't put them in competition, period.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I'm in that camp. I went back to our original idea.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like that was not that it was like, hey, RDA is better, but like
it was.
It accomplished great. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 GHD sit-ups, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 cowl on the rower.
I like it. I love that one.
Like it makes the row matter late. It makes the GHDs matter early, and then you got to hurt the whole time to be good at both. And you've got these opposing movement patterns the entire time. There is no place you can pace. None. You cannot pace anywhere. You cannot pace the GHD sit-ups. You have to push the row, because at the end of this test, when you get off the GHD with 20 reps left and you get to a 40 cal row, it's a 40 cal row, 10 GHDs, 50 cal row. It's a race from the 40.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah. And that would be, God, that honestly would be a fun race to watch.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
I think I'm almost in a position where I can now. I probably shouldn't jump into the GHD sit-ups. All right, last one. Test number 5, 21, 15, 9, deadlifts at weight 1, which is 225 and 155, 21 chest to bar pull-ups, 15 deadlifts at 275 and 185, 15 bar muscle-ups, 9 deadlifts at 315 and 205, into 9 rope climbs to 15 feet. Bill.
I left it as is, except for bringing the women's deadlift up to the 225.
Okay.
Other than that, I love the workout. I think it's awesome.
I do too, but I totally changed it. The only thing weight change, I bumped it up to 225 as it should be.
Yep.
And I loved this test, but half of the test was spent on the rope climbs. If you looked at people's scores, or at minimum 2/3. It's like, okay, so this is a rope climb event. And I didn't want it to be a rope climb event, but I didn't want to change any of the numbers. The only way I wanted to change was the women's last barbell. So this is what I did, and I wanted to make this much more of a sprint. So I have this written down because, again, numbers. So I partitioned each round. So round 1, there's 21 deadlifts mixed in here at 225 and 155. 7 deadlifts, 7 chest to bar pull-ups. 7 deadlifts, 5 bar muscle-ups. 7 deadlifts, 3 rope climbs. All right, so the deadlift weight is the same for the round. 7, 7, 7 on the deadlift, so that's 21 reps. 7 chest to bar pull-ups, which is a third of what we're doing, 5 bar muscle-ups, and 3 rope climbs. Now, those 3 rope climbs are very important. And the speed at which you do them are now very important. The next round, 5 deadlifts at 275 and 185, 7 chest to bar pull-ups, 5 deadlifts, 5 bar muscle-ups, 5 deadlifts, 3 rope climbs. So the 7-5-3 of chest to bar, bar muscle-ups, and rope climbs won't change. But the reps went down for 5s on the deadlifts as the weight went up. The last round, if you guys can do the math, 3 deadlifts at 315 and 225, 7 chest to bar pull-ups, 3 deadlifts, 5 bar muscle-ups, 3 deadlifts, 3 rope climbs. So I used all the same numbers, all the same movements, all the same reps, but I partitioned everything so there's this like deadpan sprint start to finish, and I just raised up the weight for the women's deadlift. I just didn't want it to be a rope climb attrition test for 9 at the end. I wanted to make everything mix that. I just mix it all in. So you're just like bar, deadlift, rig, deadlift, rope, back to it, weight change, go. And you're just ripping through it. So it's like ripping through it and then just like 1, shake, 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 2, right? Rope for 2.5 minutes. I just wanted to make it waste.
Okay, I get that.
You know,
That's
and
valid.
when you partition those reps, it elevates the playing field for more people in a sense. It's like, all right, it's 21 in a row. It's like, okay, all these guys are going to just like blow out of the water. It's like, I can do 7. Not me personally, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, also me personally, if we're being real, but it just allows more people to play instead of the big bulk sets. And to break up the complex 21-59, 9-15, 21 bookend, I just wanted to tinker a bit more with the numbers.
I'm cool with that. I mean, I like I said, I didn't change anything because to me, even though there was a lot of rope climb stuff at the end, I like the fact that because everyone like that's the mud pit that you're racing in at the very end of the Spartan race kind of thing. You want to get as far in the front of that as you can, depending on where you are on rope climbs.
Yep.
So yeah, you don't need to be like leading to get to the rope climbs. If you're really good at rope climbs, you want to try. That's that balance. Is like how much conservation do you need to have so that when you get to the ropes, you can really make it happen on the ropes. Because you're right. I saw a lot of people. They did great till rope climb 5.
Yeah. Or I saw people like breaking on deadlifts for the rope climbs coming
Right.
Right.
They were smart. Right.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, just light the fuse and go.
Yeah. I get it.
But all right, that was our reprogramming of the Open and quarterfinals. As always, you love your discussion, your pushback, your conversation. It all adds to the same thing, which is a much more educated and passionate fan base, which is what we want. If you guys are following us on Patreon, we have a workout of the week coming tomorrow. That'll be Bill dropping the workout itself plus a video of the workout. We'll be bringing that back to all of those that are our programmatrons. Go to patreon.com/get with the programming for $6 a month. You guys can support us more than you already do. You get a workout of the week, 20% discount on all our codes, as well as printouts for our OG stuff, as well as the CrossFit Journal, which will be coming up for us on Thursday, which will be a theoretical template of programming for CrossFit.
Amazing.
Which I am excited to do. A lot of level 1 stuff coming up. But all right, you guys take those tests. If you guys follow us on Patreon, we'll send you those ourselves. And if you're not there, be there. Bill?
Dude.
Happy Tuesday, partner.
Bye, guys.
Take care, team. Have a great week.